Hello, my fellow mad scientists, and welcome to today's lesson. Today we have a biochemistry question, and you might see this information if you're studying for the MCAT or just in your own biochemistry course. Today's question reads, which amino acid cannot rotate plane polarized light? As usual, take a moment to pause the video and see if you can solve the question on your own, but let's begin. So let's start out by just drawing the basic structure of these amino acids, right? I recommend definitely being able to draw these out. They don't need to be like the most pretty picture, but if you can get a rough sketch pretty quick, that's what's important for sure. So we have our carboxylic acid group, our amine. This one is going to be isoleucine, and that additional hydrogen is just kind of tucked in there. We're going to do alanine this time. So single group, and voila. Let's do histidine, just because he's pretty big with a ring structure. Something like, and then nitrogen here. Let's see how this goes. This is an N with an H down, and like that. And then, oops, double bond and double bond. And our last one. Okay, so we have, just to label them real quick, glycine, alanine, serine, isoleucine, histidine. I'll draw it there. All righty. So right off the bat, you might recognize a pretty key difference between one of these amino acids in particular. So you'll want to be able to recognize our four distinct groups. Number one, the carboxylic acid. Number two, the amine for the amine portion. Number three, that hydrogen, which is always attached. And number four, the R group, or what's maybe called the side chain or R chain, different ways that I've seen it worded. So you'll recognize first that each amino acid has a unique R group. And in the case of glycine, that R group is actually an entire extra hydrogen. So why does this matter? Well, let's discuss what does it mean if a molecule can rotate plane polarized light? Well, molecules that can rotate plane polarized light are what we call chiral. Okay, and for the purpose of this lesson, we're going to do a pretty simple explanation of what a chiral molecule is. A chiral molecule is one that contains a chiral carbon. In this molecule, that's this carbon right here. A chiral carbon has four groups, which are all different or unique. In this case, we see number one is a CH3. The second group is an ethane or ethyl attachment, so that is CH2CH3. The third group is the chlorine on top, and the fourth group is the hydrogen, which doesn't usually get drawn. So you can see that all four substituents are unique or different from one another. And as a result, that carbon is what we consider a chiral carbon. And that means that this molecule can rotate plane polarized light, right? So now if we look at each of our amino acids individually, we will see, well, let's start with serine. Let's look at that alpha carbon. We can see that we have four unique groups. One, the carboxylic acid. Two, the amine portion. Three, the hydrogen. And four, the unique R chain that has the hydroxyl. We see the same when looking at isoleucine. 1, 2, 3, 4 unique groups. Again, that alpha carbon of alanine is chiral. carboxylic acid, amine, hydrogen, and that CH3 attachment, that methyl. Once more, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, the ring system. It is not until we reach glycine that we see that the alpha carbon is in fact not chiral. And this is because 2 of the groups are identical. They are both hydrogen atoms. As a result, this molecule, glycine, is what we call achiral. I'll write that out for you so you can see the spelling. Achiral. And the A on front just means not, right? Not chiral. Simple enough. Oops, there we go. So an achiral molecule cannot rotate plane polarized light. It's really that simple. So we've come to our answer, our friend glycine. So the quick recap to be able to memorize something like this is which molecules rotate plane polarized light? Chiral molecules can. Achiral molecules cannot. More importantly, an additional thing you can memorize is of the 20 common amino acids, glycine is the only one that is achiral. So if you ever do encounter this question, it should be pretty easy points instantly in a matter of moments, right? So thank you so much for joining us for today's lesson. If you found this information helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions. If you'd like more free questions like this, be sure to also follow Course Correction on Instagram. I post free questions all the time for many different topics. Maybe you're interested in a one-on-one tutoring session. Go ahead and message me on Instagram or send me an email at the email found down in the description, and we can definitely schedule something and set that up. Finally, if you just have a couple questions or maybe even one question that you're really struggling with, try to join us at a Course Corrections office hours session, and I'd be more than happy to sit down and help walk you through that question. Thank you so much for joining us for today's lesson, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay mad.